Hope everyone is doing well. We are up to Mishnah Yud Zayin, Mishnah 17. And this is a very interesting one. Shimon ben Omer, Shimon the son of Rabban Gamliel, says the following. Kol Yomai, all my days, Gudalti ben HaChachamim, I grew up amongst the sages, V'lo matzasi leguf tov, ela shtika. And I didn't find anything better for the body other than silence. Number 2, V'lo medrash hu ha'ikar ela hamasa. And study is not the main thing, rather practice, rather actually doing things. And anyone that talks too much brings upon himself sin. Let's go through them one by one. Very interesting. He says that his father was a scholar, so presumably their home was a place, gathering place for sages, actually, as the Mishnayos way in the beginning talked about. So apparently, even though they were these great scholars, but it seems like even amongst their Talmudic discussions, whatever they were talking about, they were wise enough to know to not always to talk, not just to fill the air. So presumably there was a lot of silent contemplation going on among these sages as they were thinking and debating about important issues. So he says that nothing is better for the body than silence. What does it mean? Nothing better for the body. The body, just say the person, the body. Like, is there a physical connection to silence in the body? So, Rabbi Wein quotes a couple different explanations. He says that if you talk too much, you might get angry, frustrated, your stress levels go up. Just the effort of talking can tire you out. He said silence calms a person down, keeps them in a place of serenity, and it's just better physically not to talk too much. Another explanation, which is a very interesting way of reading the words, is that v'lo matzasi leguf tov ela shtika. The best thing for the body might be not to talk about it, not to talk about the body. In other words, obviously, we talk about in Judaism guarding one's health and exercising, and obviously that's a very big idea in Judaism, is to stay healthy, and yet there's a limit in terms of if you're going to spend 24/7 on the body, on looks, on aesthetics, with nothing inside, with no soul inside. So that might be misusing the concept of guarding one's health and in Judaism. So therefore, he says that don't talk too much about bodily things, right? The best thing for the body is not to talk about it so much. Okay. Then the next thing is that study is not the main thing, practice is the main thing. Now this is interesting because we know that Judaism talks a lot about Torah study, right? Torah study is equated to all the other mitzvot. It's arguably the greatest mitzvah that we have, the greatest commandment to study the Torah. And you would think that that's the main thing. And yet, the Mishnah says that actually that's not the main thing. The main thing is actually to practice. So many explanations given for this. The answer is basically that scholarship by itself does not make a complete Jew. You can be a great scholar and know a lot and know a lot of the Talmudic analysis, and yet, are you a practicing Jew? Are you someone that is kind to other people, that performs good deeds? Right? Just scholarship by itself is not always going to be enough. You actually have to put it into practice what you learn. So that's a very important idea. And then the last idea, v'chol marba devarim mevi chen. If you talk too much, you bring upon yourself sin. So Rabbi Wein makes a couple points. The first point is very simple, that talking too much can lead to lashon hara, can lead to gossip, can lead to slander, and that's bad for everyone involved, right? We're told that lashon hara, that evil speech, affects the person that spoke it, the person that heard it, and the person that it was spoken about. So all three are caught up in the dangerous web of lashon hara, and of course, by talking too much, you're risking that talking lashon hara, and consequently, if you limit your speech, you're limiting your chances of, by mistake, gossiping and slandering. There's also an idea, even without lashon hara, even without evil speech, just the idea of not talking too much is a virtue. There's a story he quotes where he has a student, Rabbi Wein has a student who was dating a girl, and the student asked Rabbi Wein, "I'm not sure about her," and he said, "What are you undecided about? What's your dilemma?" And he says, "She doesn't talk that much. She's very soft-spoken. I'm a conversationalist. She doesn't talk that much." Rabbi Wein responded, "She's the one. Don't miss out." Because someone that doesn't talk that much, that's a virtue, right? And perhaps nowadays, it's even more than ever, the spreading information about each other, one that can hold that in, one that can limit that, is to be vaunted. And then the last thing he says is that sometimes if you talk too much, you take away from the effect, right? A great speech is usually not the longest speech, right? Sometimes brevity is the best way to go about speaking. The sages say anyone that adds, sometimes they subtract, right? Sometimes too much is a bad thing. And so for all these explanations, we should try to limit our speech and to be more contemplative people, and that way we'll earn the respect of each other, and we will limit our chances of, by mistake, slandering and gossiping about other people. Everyone have a great night.